Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Computer Diet or anything you need to learn about computer. Here's the right place for you to learn about computer. So today we are going to talk on Python tutorial, and this is the first video of our Python tutorial. So if you are a beginner, don't worry, I'm with you till the end of the Python tutorial, and I'll try my best and make sure I have known most of the Python basics and you'll be able to write some Python projects. So and the fun part of it is that at every end of our class, I'll try and give an exercise so that I can know how far you have gone with your Python learning of the previous videos. So, and you can do as well, come and check for the tutorial and our next dropping video. So let's get started. Today we are going to talk on comments, variable, string, and numbers. So what is comment? Comment means a set of explanations done when writing code, and it's represented using hash, and it has no effect. The Python itself, you count it as a comment, it counts it as a set of explanation trying to do when you're writing code for someone so that someone can read, and it has no any other effects. Python just sit as a very plain written words. Let's take an example. Let's take an example. I want to write numbers. Let's take an example. I write hash and I write numbers here. And let's try and run it. Let's try and run it. Okay, you can see it here. Here it has no any other effect. It has nothing. Python it as a normal written word like notepad, or you are trying to jot something down. But let's remove it now and let's run it and see. I've removed the hash sign. Here we have an error. Name numbers is not defined. Good. So let's work on variables. Variables is stored points that holds the content of something. Let's take an example. We are having the numbers, and I want to put another numbers into the numbers. Let's say we're having 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is stored in numbers. Numbers is holding the content, and the content which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's just like a book. When you open the book, you see the contents that's inside the book. So let's print our numbers here. Let's print the content of what's inside the numbers. Let's try and print it and let's see what it will give us. Let's run it. Here is it. We are having it here 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Why is it print 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5? Why? Because we stored 1 to 5 in numbers. Let's move on to string. String is anything that is in the form of letters or words and is being represented with quotes. Yeah, we can say, what is your name? What is your name? It's not defined here. Why? Because right now Python will say what is your name as a form of numbers. And what is your name here? It is written in letters, not in numbers. Don't worry, I'll try and explain more further. Let's print numbers and let's see what it will give us. Let's print the contents of what's inside numbers. Here is invalid syntax. What is your name? Good. So why is giving us this is because we not tell Python that this is a letters. These are words. These are form of letters or alphabet here. But if we put quotes here and here we put quotes, sorry, I'm having additional quote here. If we put quote here, it means it tell Python that this is in letters, these are alphabets, these are words. So let's try and run our numbers here, and here we're having what is your name. So it means here we are telling Python that we are writing in letters and not numbers. But if we remove it, the code will have a red underline. It means it's telling us that what we are writing is trying to tell Python that this is a number, and Python is just assuming that this is not a number, but what we are writing here is we are writing it in the form of alphabet. So in order for us to make Python happy, so we have to implement our codes here. So let's jump in for our next agenda here. So we're having numbers. Numbers are actually numbers here. Numbers actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And also I'm going to talk on other numbers. We have floats and we have integers. Okay, we have integers. Sorry, I'm coming. Put hash and put it in form of comment. Sorry, floating numbers and integers here. Floating numbers are numbers with decimal points. And numbers with decimal points. Example, let's copy these numbers. Sorry, let's copy it and let's paste it here. We are having 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, any numbers that is having decimal points, and integers are numbers without decimal points. They are numbers without decimal points, and here they're just plain numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, sorry. Comment. Let me try and turn this to comments. Tell Python that it should have no any effect in this. Okay, so let's try and print something reasonable here. Let's say we have numbers. Let's say we have something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say we have what? Let's say we have what is your name? Sorry, I forgot to say something. And it's represented by float. Represented by int. Okay, let's say print numbers, or let's say print words. Now let's run it, and let's see here it prints numbers, and here it prints what is your name. Okay, let's say we're having something like this. We're having number which is 2.5, sorry, 2.3. Let's say print type. What you mean by print type? It means it should print the type of numbers. What type of numbers is this? What type of numbers is the content of what's inside the numbers? What type of numbers is this variable here that we're having? Let's say let's print and let's know the let's put it as comment. Let's put it as comment. Let's put it as comment. Let's print the type of numbers. And let's see what type of numbers is this. Class integer. It means what we're having in this particular number here is integer. Okay, let's try and check for the second number and let's see the type. Let's see the type here. The type here is float. It means this is a floating number here. Okay, and let's try and print the type of words here. Here let's print the type of words here. So the type of words here is string. It means it's holding a string content here. Okay, let's try and go further with this. Let's try and go further with this comment. Let's say we have words here. Let's say we're having something like what is your name, and let me actually remove the comment here. And, sorry, so sorry. Let's say we're having words too. Please, one thing I want you to know, I want you to know that variable is very sensitive. It is very sensitive. All the words is very sensitive. If you put words here and you also type something like hey you, if you count it, if you count this as the same variable and it will print the last command. Why? Because Python is running from the first to the second to the third and to the last. Okay, let's try and run this and let's see what it will give us. It give us hey you. Why? Because it count the first command as what is your name with the second command hey you as the same thing. So once it comes here and it run this, it will come to the second one and it will run it, it will count them as the same thing and it will decide to pick up the last command. Why? Because it starts from the first to the last. Let's say here we have something like word instead of words. Let's try and print it up. Here it says, what is your name? Good. So let's try. I was actually doing something before my mind came in, and let's say we're having what is your name. Let's say we're having numbers here. And let's say we're having one. Let's say we're having, sorry, let's just use this. We're having words or we're having numbers. And our words is what is your name, and our numbers is one. Okay, let's print them together. Print words plus one. That means we are adding one and words together. Let's try and run it. Let's run it. Let's see. Here the type of errors they can only concatenate string, not integers. Why? Because this one here is a number, and you cannot add number with alphabet. You cannot add number with words. So let's try and set this to. Let's try and put string to this. Let's say, and let's try and run it. Let's see. Automatically here, it still says can only concatenate string. Oh, sorry. I'm having a mistake here. I'm having a mistake here. I'm so sorry. I'm having a mistake here. Here, I was supposed to say numbers. I'm having a mistake here. I'm so sorry for that. Let's say, let's print them and let's see. Here, it's a can only concatenate string, not integer string. Please pay attention to this error. Not int to string. Okay, let's say we're having something like this, and let's try and run it. Let's see. What is your name? One. Here you can see it added it to one. Why? Because this one here is no more a number. This one here is a string. This one here is a number. Okay, why not? Let's try and twist everything from beginning, sorry, from end to the beginning. And let's print words here. Let's plus it plus words. And let's try and run it. Let's see. What will it give us? One. What is your name? Okay. Why not? Let's try and remove this. And let's run it and let's see. Unsupported operand types S for plus, integer, and string. It means no matter what you do, you can't plus numbers and words. Okay? Alright. So let's move on with our second agenda here. Sorry, let's move on with our second practice here. Okay, let's say I'm having something like this. I'm having something like this, and I want to print, hey, how are you? How are you? And I want to print it to the next line, to the next line, to the next line, to the next line. How do you think I'll do it? Here, I'm going to teach you two types on how we are going to do it. First, we are going to use triple quotes here. Then you can now type whatever you want here. You can say, what is your name? You can say, how are you? You can say, I'm going home. You can say, have you eaten? And let's try around this and let's see. Sorry. forget the and now let's try and run this and let's see. Here it says, how are you? I'm going home. Have you eaten? Okay, so let me teach you another way that you can do this. Let me teach you another way that you can do this. You can say, what is your name? Sorry, what is your name? Slash n. This backward slash means new line. Backward slash n. And let's print something else again. And let's say, how are you? Okay, let's try run this and let's see. Here it says, what is your name? How are you? So, can you see the two ways now that we can do it? Okay, once again, come in, let me clear this. Let's say we're having something like what? Let's say we have we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Let's say here we have numbers. Let's say, sorry, I'm so sorry. Let's say we have numbers. We have one, sorry, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, and let's say we are let's print it. Let's print what type. What type is this? And let's say numbers. Let's print the type and let's know what type it is. Here we are having the type string, which means it's not a number. But what if we want to try and convert this to numbers? How are we going to do it? Fine, it's very easy. Let's print int open bracket numbers. What this int means, it's telling us that these numbers here we should convert it to integers. Print int numbers here. Print int numbers here. Sorry. Let's run it. Cool. It's printed out 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Now let's do something more complex now. Let's say we have a number equal to int open bracket numbers, right? And here let's say print number here. Here it's printed out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why? Because here we're having two variables. Our first number, which is actually holding what we are going to change, and our numbers, and our number here. So this numbers here, sorry, this number here is holding the numbers of this one here, and we are here changing it to integer and no more string here. And when we print out our number here, it means we are printing out this one here. It means from here we change this to here, and here we are now having our plain number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here, and then we now decide to print out the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And let's see the type. Let's see the type. Let's see the type number here. See the type of number here. Name number is not defined. Okay, so who can guess the problem? The problem is actually here. We forgot to put our S. So now let's run it and see. The type of number here is integer. Okay, so okay, yeah. So that is that. That's how I want to. That's how it is. And we have come to the end of our tutorial. And before I go, I remember I told you that at every working time, at the end of our tutorial, I'll give you work to do. So I want you to do this for me. I want you to make a program that will say the type of words is to now implement the class of your word and the class giving it float and integer here. I want you to make three variables, one for words, the other one for numbers, and the other one for number. Okay? I want you to set one as an integer and the other as a float, and then it should be printed out like this. So thank you. Thank you once again. Please do like, share, and subscribe so that we can promote the channel here. Thank you so much. You'll see the next tutorial. You'll see the solution in our next tutorial.